The Business and Governance Committee to order. And let's see, any non-agenda public comment?
No public comment.
Do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do.
Awesome. All right. So first action item is the recommendation to amend the Board of Administration charter. If there are no questions from the committee, seeing none, can I have a motion?
Ready to vote.
And that motion passes 5-0. Okay, item number 2, review and recommendation to amend the conflict of interest, ethical conduct, compliance and training, and fraud and criminal acts policy. That's a motion that has way too many ands in it. But if I can, if there's no questions from anybody in the committee, can I get a motion to approve this action item? Thank you. Can I get okay?
Ready to vote.
And that motion passes 5-0. Okay, action item number 3, review of Division 4 of the board rules related to purchase of service credits. Are there any questions from the committee? Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve this action item? Charlie is doing the heavy lifting today. Thank you, Charlie.
Ready to vote.
And that motion passes 5-0. All right, selection of tax counsel. Johnny Tran says he wants to speak on that topic, and Greg says I have to let him. So, Johnny?
Yeah, thank you, Thanasi. So in 2007, SDCERS went through a very serious and public, kind of painful IRS tax compliance effort. And at that time, the board worked very closely with its outside counsel in its negotiations with the IRS. Since then, honestly, our dealings with tax counsel have become mundane as our tax compliance program has been managed well. In 2007, Ice Miller was our tax counsel, and they were brilliant in what they've done to bring us up to speed with our program, and they've been our tax counsel ever since. And our recommendation as staff is to continue that relationship with Tax Miller, but I'd also like to have the ability to work with other counsel as we get new ideas and to bring in fresh tax counsel and tax opinions. So through an RFP, we interviewed these 3 firms and received responses from several other firms. And what we're recommending is to give staff the ability to work with other counsel for different things, recognizing, I think, Ice Miller will continue to be our day-to-day counsel. Reed Smith has great experience with other California retirement systems, and I've found that their insight in working with the counsel, Don Wellington, would be very helpful for me to be able to reach out and talk to them on special projects. And QTAC Rock is another up-and-coming firm for us. They've done some great work that we're interested in maybe a special project for in the future to review what our tax compliance program is and how to get their insight. Largely, our tax compliance program was built by Ice Miller, and I think a fresh set of eyes would be helpful. The 3 counsel is really a behind-the-scenes request at this point. We don't have any active matters in front of the IRS, so we don't have any formal representations outside of working with me, no items in tax court. So that's why I think this panel is more helpful from a transactional point of view. If there is a special project, if we should get tied in and have to file something with the IRS, I would come back to this committee and the board and seek your input then. So the recommendation is for staff to be able to work with all 3 counsel. Any questions?
Seeing no questions, can I get a motion to approve the selection of tax counsel?
Ready to vote. I'll vote you're in.
And that controversial motion passes 5-0. Okay, the next action item is direct staff to engage outside firms to execute information technology audits over the next 3 years for an amount not to exceed $100,000 per year. Sarah, I think you're coming up to talk to us about that. And just so that you know, we did all receive this lovely cheat sheet on the audit, and I'm sure we have all read it. I know I have.
Okay.
And then I do know that, Bobby, you want to speak on this as well. Since you are the committee member, would you like to go first?
Let's have Sarah go first.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. The audit committee and I did discuss this topic yesterday, and it passed with a 3-0 vote. The IT audit engagement that was recently completed ended up with 5 recommended IT audits to be performed over the next 3 years, 2 audits in year 1, 2 audits in year 2, and 1 audit in year 3. So that list that you received, it details more information on those 5 audits. Given my need to focus hours on operational audits and given the expertise required to complete these types of audits, I'm recommending that we outsource them. Estimated pricing suggests executing 2 IT audits per year will cost more than $50,000, but less than $100,000. The contracting policy allows the board to delegate contracts to the CEO if they fall within this price range. While I know this proposal is pricey, given SDCERS' increasing reliance on their systems and given IT is inherently risky and ever-changing, I feel this is an important step for SDCERS to take in order to gain more assurance over IT. To help alleviate pricing concerns, I will obtain comparative bids. If any of you know of any potential vendors, I'm open to suggestions. In conclusion, as allowed by the contracting policy, we are asking the board to delegate its authority to the CEO in this matter. Any questions? Okay.
Thank you, Sarah. The Audit Committee had a very robust discussion regarding this. We were all surprised at the price at $100,000 a year. However, after reviewing what's going to be asked of the outside consultants and the level of expertise, we all decided that it was very worthwhile, especially given the risk. So we overwhelmingly, heartily endorse this.
Thank you. Are there any questions from members of the committee? Sarah, anything you want to add? Nope. Okay, seeing none, can I get a motion to approve the action item to direct staff to engage outside firms to execute information technology audits over the next 3 years for an amount not to exceed $100,000 per year?
Ready to vote?
Okay. And that matter passes 5-0. Okay. We're going to move into information items. Let's see. Okay, so is there anybody, are there any questions from anybody, for any members in the committee regarding the reports on members owing in excess of $10,000? Marcel, do you have any comments that you want to make on that? Nope. Okay, all right, moving into reports. Cynthia, come on down. You are the next contestant on The Board is Right. Thank you. That's right. By definition, right after the vote. Would you dazzle us on the amazing things that are going on in member services, please?
I sure will.
Thank you.
Thank you for being an amazing board, as Thanasi was just saying. Thank you all for reading my report. I know you are excited about the new website. Yay! So beautiful. I was actually just with a member downstairs who was commenting on how much improved it is now and how very useful it is. Shout out to Jessica Maloney back there. Just this week, we've even added more items. We have a disability fact sheet and summary of all the benefit options a member could choose so they can do even further planning before they come in. But our frequently asked questions are very exciting to us because members frequently ask questions and we have excellent answers on the website for them. So we're all pretty excited about this. So the last thing I want you to know about this website, we have some very beautiful pictures of some fine board members on the website with lovely biographies about all your qualifications. And so I thank you again for your service and love being able to feature you on the website.
Don't think I didn't notice mine was the shortest, just so you know.
Jessica's going to fix that this afternoon.
Yeah.
May and June are always very busy for us, and I think this year was an example of the great teamwork and efficiencies we have made, because with open enrollment and people trying to retire by June, the call volume was less than half this year of what it was last year, and I believe that is specifically due to the excellent educational materials that Sandra Clausen put together for open enrollment, and all the materials we had on our website timely, and just the efficiencies that we've made in how the system works. So I was very proud of the whole team. The wait time for June was only 16 seconds, which is fantastic. And sticking the same here in July as we go in. And then the last thing I'd like to mention is I had the pleasure this week of attending the Retired Employees Association meeting, which Charlie often goes to. I represented us. I represented.
I was here, yes.
I know you were. I told them, I said, Charlie is downtown, down the street, doing very important work. And but one of the many things I shared with them yesterday was I wanted to share the core values. So I explained to them that we, believe it or not, we really have these written core values. And the two that I shared with them, because of course I love our fiduciary duty, I also just like to say fiduciary duty. But what I shared with them was, we understand our duty of loyalty to our members, and we are courageous in standing up for the rights of the SDCERS Trust Fund. And I was pleased with their response to that. So thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you very much, Cynthia.
Thank you.
All right, Marcel, Benefits Administration.
Good morning. So, following up on the comments that Cynthia made on healthcare, it was a much, much smoother process this year for the retiree open enrollment, which was great news. We also had record low number of changes. So once the work happens after open enrollment ends, the background work was also much less this year, which is really nice. So that was a good healthcare year for us. We have a couple other things coming up. It is end of the year. So we've had the drop quarterly interest is already posted. Tomorrow we will be posting the COLA and annual interest jobs. These are things that used to take 6 to 8 weeks to post after year end, and with Iris and a lot of dedicated work from staff, we will be done with all of that less than 2 weeks after year end, which means we can get the actuarial valuation information to Chiron much earlier, which means that they can get the information back to Ted LaSalvia that he needs for the CAFR, and they can get the valuation moving along much quicker. So happy that those are moving fast this year, and happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right, thank you very much. David?
Good morning. We have a new Board of Administration system, and I appreciate your patience as we've implemented this. It is, in my opinion, the most technically complex system that SDCERS operates. And I'd like to recognize a couple of people who are instrumental in implementing the system. Michelle Wegner-Malecki, our Application Services Manager Extraordinaire, led the charge. Alfredo Nieto, he was the lead on the Agenda to Go piece with the iPads. And Tabitha Perryman is rock solid, and she helped us implement this thing very well. There's a tremendous amount of time and effort went into this thing, and it's a learning curve for everybody. So we appreciate your patience. The other thing I would like to do is introduce Joe Salcedo. Joe, can you stand? Joe is our new Systems Administration Manager. He's replacing Jason Lee, who retired on Friday. Joe comes to us from the City of San Diego's IT department. He has over 20 years of IT experience, and I'm pleased to add him as part of our team. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Welcome, and thank you.
Thank you.
Good riddance to Jason. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Ted, I want to thank you for your 3-sentence memorandum. This time, this is fabulous. I don't want to ruin it for you, but you've had it as low as 2 sentences in the past. So I'm just saying you're 50% more in verbosity this time. I'm just mentioning that for whatever it's worth. Okay, Johnny, I think you. So in terms of reports, are there any committee members have any other questions on reports? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to move into questions and comments from the chair, board members, and staff. Johnny, I think you want to introduce some new people?
I did, but she's not here today. So we hired a new paralegal, Sarah Burt, but she's out today.
So you don't want to introduce her?
I don't.
Okay, well, that's fine. She doesn't exist, she's dead to us, that's fine. All right, and I understand there's nothing in closed session, so therefore I'm going to report nothing out of closed session, and the meeting is now adjourned.